Please, everyone rise for the class of 2013. That was easy. I want to thank the class marshals, Miss Elena Lapidus and Mr. Oscar Lugo. Now I want to introduce to you Mr. Alan Morse, School Committee Chairperson.
So good morning, 2013 Brookline High School graduates, families, and guests. As you've heard, my name is Alan Morris, and as chairman of the Brookline School Committee, it is my privilege and pleasure to bring greetings and congratulations from all of my school committee colleagues, some of whom I know are here. Seniors, please join me in giving your teachers, guidance counselors, social workers, deans, coaches, those who have served you food in the cafeteria, custodians, nurses, and all other staff, a round of applause. All have worked tirelessly to ensure your success. Now, once more, seniors, please give your parents, grandparents, guardians, and other family members, all who have provided you with the support enabling you to be successful today, a huge round of applause. There's another special group here to congratulate you today, the 1963 Brookline High School graduates celebrating their 50th reunion. Many thanks to all for returning to celebrate with us. We are grateful for your interest, for your loyalty, and ongoing support. To give our seniors a sense of change over 50 years, here are some reminders of what happened in 1963. A new Ford automobile cost approximately $2,500, with seat belts optional. A loaf of bread went for about 30 cents, which is also about what a gallon of gas cost. A six-pack of Budweiser cost 85 cents. The Beatles taped their first album. Willie Mays signed with the San Francisco Giants for all of $100,000. And Tito Francono, formerly one of Brookline's own, was one of 4 Cleveland Indian players who hit consecutive home runs in 1 inning that year. No wonder he's back in Cleveland now. In January of 1963, George Wallace was sworn in as governor of Alabama. And folks, I was really shocked when I was reminded of this. Having won the election with the slogan, "Segregation now, segregation tomorrow, and segregation forever." At the end of August, Martin Luther King gave us his "I Have a Dream" speech at the Lincoln Memorial as 200,000 citizens demonstrated for equal rights in Washington. And sadly, on November 22nd, President John F. Kennedy was assassinated. Brookline High seniors, you have all received an exceptional education here. Every one of you has worked hard to meet the rigorous academic standards of our high school. You have completed all the many graduation requirements, done significant community service, and I hope stayed out of major trouble. Some of you have had an opportunity to visit foreign countries, such as Mexico, France, Cambodia, and China. Other students have spent time representing our school in a variety of sports. Still others have danced, acted, played an instrument, sung, sculpted, or painted, all as part of our multifaceted arts program, while still others have competed in a variety of mathematics, foreign language, and writing contests. You will always be ambassadors for Brookline, a unique place in which to learn and live. You may well forget most of the facts you have absorbed. However, throughout your education in the Brookline school system, you have also been taught how to become a responsible citizen. In other words, to be a full participant in your community. Individually, it is this characteristic which will benefit our country most. Being a responsible citizen is what makes our form of democracy work. Please, wherever you go and whatever you do, continue to remember this. Right now, our political system is exhibiting some serious disturbing strains. Our country will need your guidance in order to remain a clear example to the world of how a government can establish a positive culture. What I mean is a culture which permits a large and diverse group of citizens to be confident that throughout their country, each individual will have the opportunity to achieve his or her unique potential. If you can get us back on that track, we will know we have educated you well. Class of 2013, we wish you Godspeed and salute you. Shortly, every one of you, in your own individual style, will become part of the leadership of your local community, your state, and your country. The public schools of Brookline has done its best to give you the intellectual, social, and ethical foundations to prepare you to find equitable solutions to the myriad of challenges you will face. Now we ask you to go out and in your own way reach your potential, which for every one of you is much greater than you think. Thank you.
Now, Mr. Scott Bouchard will come up and lead the welcome by the international students.
Good afternoon. It has been my honor and privilege to work with the class of 2013. I've only been the administrator for my half of this class for 2 years, but it has been a tremendously uplifting, enriching, and fun experience for me. I have profoundly enjoyed working with you all and with your parents. Whether our shared experience was a quick joke in the hallway while passing, an exhortation to work harder, or tears in my office, you've been a uniquely entertaining, hardworking, and inspiring class. I bid you adieu, what's French? With sadness that you are leaving, but also with a sense of anticipation to see you again as you return to visit us. It's been great. And now the international greeters, and they know who they are. Come on up. I suppose that side would be better. And one by one, come on up, come on up.
שלום, קוראים לי מאיה ואני מישראל. ברוכים הבאים לטקס הסיום של בית הספר התיכון של ברוקליין.
Hi, I'm Josiane Shimwe. I'm from Rwanda. Urakaza neza kwizihiza kurangiza kwachu.
สวัสดีค่ะข้าพเจ้านางสาวภัทรพรกิติศัพท์จรเป็นตัวแทนนักเรียนไทยขอยินดีต้อนรับแขกท่านผู้เกียรติทุกท่านเข้าสู่พิธีการจบการศึกษาเรียนโรงเรียนBrookline High School ขอบคุณค่ะ
Добър ден, казвам се Димитър Димитров, аз съм от България. Искам да ви дойде на завършването на гимназия Brookline. Благодаря.
Hello, I'm Jessica Liu. My family is from Yangjiang, China. Daga ho, ozu lok tin tin, fu nin.
Buongiorno, mi chiamo Matteo, sono italiano e vi vorrei dare il benvenuto alla cerimonia di consegna dei diplomi liceali.
Connor Ní Bhreanáin, Tomé O'Aaron, Cade Mila Falcha.
Sakafet. Bonjour, mon nom c'est Medrano Pierre-Louis, famille venue de pays d'Haïti et bienvenue à la graduation de Brookline High School.
Hello, my name is Yijin Yang and I'm from China. 欢迎大家来参加 Brookline 高中毕业典礼。
Hola, mira, mi naam is Jared Vidalewski y ik de Sudáfrica.
Hola, mi nombre es Andrés Marín de Venezuela y bienvenidos a la graduación de Brookline High School. Roll Trap.
Γεια σας, το όνομά μου είναι Alex και είμαι από την Ελλάδα. Θα ήθελα να σας καλήσω στο Brookline High School pour τη γιορτή της αποφύτισης.
Hi, my name is Paul Kim. I'm Korean. 2013년 브루클라인 하이스쿨 졸업식에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
See you around.
One thing people can't say about Brookline High School, we are definitely diverse. All right, so next we'll have a musical selection by Camarado for Good from Wicked. Michael Driscoll, the director. Egan Ming, piano. August Ramos, bass.
I have
Thank you for that beautiful selection. So, here's my chance to speak to you. Before I begin my remarks, though, I would like to take a moment and acknowledge one of my colleagues and counterpart, Ms. Diane Landy, Dean of Students, who could not be here today. As many of you know, she is retiring this year after 36 years of service in public education. That took her from Boston to East Bridgewater to Lexington and finally to Brookline High School, where she served and worked tirelessly for all students and parents of Brookline for 12 years. Please join me in acknowledging her service and dedication with your applause. Now, each graduating class is unique, and for every class that I've had that graduated, I would always remember something interesting about them. And one of the things that I found interesting about this class, we had a little bit of a change in culture. We decided to assign lockers to each student, one locker each student, whereas we used to have multiple lockers for one student. So there's one hall that is very, very popular, and it's the senior hallway. So we came up with a lottery system to assign lockers to students because this turned out to be prime real estate. So just to give you an idea of the entrepreneurial spirit of this class, students who won the lottery actually rented their lockers out to the seniors who didn't win the lottery. And I heard, I don't know, they were charging like $20 a month so that those students could use their lockers. So I just want to thank you because now we call that hallway Newberry Street. But yes, this is the opportunity, this is the part of the program I have the opportunity to say my goodbyes. And maybe for some of you, the last time I'll see you again. So I never sleep well the night before graduation. I've thought about the messages and stories I've told you over the years, like the carpenter, the pigeons and the eagles, and don't stop for the donut. Raise your hand if you remember those messages. Okay, great. That's good, so you don't have to stay after graduation and I retell them. Okay, good. It goes without saying that today is your day and that we all are proud of you. But what about tomorrow? What does tomorrow and the subsequent days hold and mean to you? What does your diploma mean to you? I ask you these questions because you're not done yet, and you have only completed the first of several chapters that will define your life. Indulge me for a moment as I try to answer the question that I posed to you about what your high school diploma should mean to you, or what I think it should. First and most important, it means that you've worked hard and committed yourself to learning. It means that you didn't just graduate from a school, but a leadership academy. I can run off a long list of famous alumni, but you had leaders around you each day, like Dan Green and former teacher Kate Boynton, who raised funds to build a school in Cambodia, and Paul Epstein, who has worked tirelessly with teenagers and people in the community to bring the Brookline Teen Center to fruition. It means that you had guidance counselors who worked hard to ensure you were prepared for life after Brookline High School. It means that you had the best teachers in the classroom invested in your success. It means that you had deans who would pull you aside and tell you when you were doing things right and when you were doing things wrong. It means you have a smart headmaster who knows Brookline High School is better than Newton North. And although you complained about getting one slice of pizza instead of two, it means that you attended a school that cared about your weight and nutrition. A lot of you really did complain. Your diploma means absolutely nothing unless you use it to help make this country and world a better place. Raise your hand if you know the name Malala Yousafzai. Malala is a 15-year-old girl who was shot in the head by the Taliban at point-blank range, all because she wanted to get an education. She's still alive, but is facing a difficult road to recovery. Raise your hand if you know the name Elizabeth Eckford. At age 15, she was one of the Little Rock Nine, who in 1957 were the first black students ever to attend classes at Little Rock Central High School in Little Rock, Arkansas. The National Guard had to protect their entry into the school, although their original orders were to prohibit them from entering the school. I share these names and their stories with you because you need to know the struggle for educational equality in order to understand the value of your diploma. Think about Malala and Elizabeth as you pursue a post-secondary education, and think about what they would do if they had your opportunities. They would not give less than their best. Carpe diem. They would certainly seize the day. We've taught you to problem solve and become critical thinkers, and hope we have helped you understand how important it is to be curious and ask questions. Take, for example, Isidore Rabi, a Nobel laureate in physics. He was once asked, "Why did you become a scientist rather than a doctor or lawyer or businessman, like the other immigrant kids in your neighborhood?" He said, "My mother made me a scientist without ever intending it." Every other Jewish mother in Brooklyn would ask her child after school, "So, did you learn anything today?" But not my mother. She always asked me a different question. "Izzy," she would say, "did you ask a good question today?" That difference, asking good questions, made me a scientist. Now, I can't guarantee you that asking good questions will get you a Nobel Prize, but it will enhance your learning. Lastly, as I conclude my comments, I want to leave you with one of my favorite quotes from a man I deeply admire and respect, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He said, "On some positions, cowardice asks the questions, is it safe? Expediency asks the question, is it politic? And vanity comes along and asks the question, is it popular? But conscience asks the question, is it right?" And there comes a time when one must take a position that is neither safe, nor politic, nor popular, but he must do it because conscience tells him it is right. Indeed, you and your generation will face significant challenges that will only be resolved by strong ethical leadership. So I implore you to have the audacity to change the world. And although you are moving on to face these new challenges in your life, please know that Brookline High School will always be your home. Now we'll have a musical selection by Miss Zoe Mussman. She's gonna sing "You've Got a Friend."
Oh, okay, good. When you're down and troubled and you need some love and care, and nothing, oh, nothing is going right. Close your eyes and think of me, and soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest night. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you got to do is call, and I'll be there, yes I will. You've got a friend. Mm-hmm. When the skies above you should turn dark and full of clouds, and that old north wind should begin to blow, keep your head together and call my name out loud. Soon I'll be knocking at your door. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running, oh yes I will, to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you got to do is call, and I'll be there, yes I will. Now ain't it good to know that you've got a friend when people can be so cold? They'll hurt you and desert you. Oh, they'll take your soul if you let them. Oh, don't you let them. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you got to do is call, and I'll be there, yes I will. You've got a friend. Thank you.
And now please welcome our first student speaker, Miss Nellie Embar.
When we were little, they asked us what we wanted to be when we grew up. We happily answered without hesitation and said things like astronauts, superheroes, or in my case, a princess. 5 years later, they asked us again, and we thought a little harder this time, but eventually answered things like firefighters, race car drivers, or in my case, a pop star. Now they want a real answer. They're expecting us to say things like doctors, lawyers, or entrepreneurs. Well, how's this for an answer? Who knows? As we all sit here today in our cap and gown, we are thinking about our future. It's inevitable. But that doesn't mean we can't make mistakes along the way. These are the things that will eventually determine our answers. How should we know the exact way we want to spend the rest of our lives right now? This should be our time to make mistakes, to fall down and get back up. Our freshman year, some of us made the mistake of wearing too much makeup to school. Or in my case, wearing my new Twilight t-shirt every chance I got. In my defense, it was cool at the time, or at least I thought it was. We made the mistake of not studying for that Spanish final because we convinced ourselves that adding an O to the end of each word officially made it Spanish. Correcto? Perfecto! See, it does work. Our sophomore year, Rebecca Black could have made the biggest mistake of her life by sitting in the back seat when we all know she should have been kicking in the front seat. And in reality, the biggest mistake of her life would probably be posting that video online in the first place. And yes, maybe even we made a mistake when we decided to listen to that song so many damn times we couldn't get it out of our heads. Our junior year, Kim Kardashian made a pretty expensive mistake by spending over $10 million on her 72-day marriage, while we made our own mistakes here at BHS, like taking AP history accompanied by 30 pages of notes a week, or in my case, forgetting to replace her calculator's batteries the night before the SAT. Oops. And now we're here, in 2013. Some of us have already made the mistakes that define our senior year. Others have mistakes that are yet to come, and that's okay. Life doesn't come with a set of instructions. After all, these mistakes have inspired and motivated us to work even harder. That way, after we try and fail and try again, when the time is right, they'll ask us once more. But this time, we won't have to guess what we want to be anymore. We'll know. Thank you, and congratulations, class of 2013.
Thank you. Now we'll have a musical selection by Francesca Bass on the violin. She'll play Paganini Capri, number 10. She'll be followed by August Ramos. He's playing a piece by Bach, Gigue from Cello Suite number 2 in D minor. Thank you. Next, we'll have our second student speaker, Mr. Tyrone Rose.
Ooh. Good afternoon, everyone. All right. Every year around this time in June, young men and women across the world begin to reflect on their lives as they approach graduation day. We reflect on our lives to better understand the many failures and successes we've had thus far in order to take those experiences wherever life takes us next. I choose to reflect on my high school experience by writing myself and you all a letter to the past. So for the next minute, let's go back to 2009, the first day of school. Dear Tyrone Rose Jr., you're about to embark on one of the many journeys life has in store for you. There will come a time, young grasshopper, when you will question your leaping capabilities. You will question how prepared you are for this journey, and you will question how alone you are on this journey. Good news, grasshopper, you're prepared. You're prepared to take on the many opportunities that Brookline High School has to offer you, as you should. Do not hesitate to try something new. That's what your journey is all about, experiencing new things. New things like a super fan crowd, like a camerata orchestra concert, like theater, or even one of the amazing dance productions Brookline High School offers. But it's not enough to just watch these events pass by. It's not enough to watch the journey of others. You must be the experience. Embrace your journey. Be the final shot. Be the lead of a play. Be the soloist. Take on a role that no one else is willing to take. Join SWS. Join Legislator. Start a club. Because your journey is only what you make of it, not what others expect you to make of it. When you stop looking for your purpose, you will find passion when trying new things. Purpose is nothing more than a deep desire to be recognized by others. When you let go of the idea of yourself and the need to be recognized, you will find you don't discover your passion, it discovers you. You will have fear, but newsflash, we all have fear. And fear can be conquered through love, friendship, and family. In your 4 years at Brookline High School, you personally won't feel much fear. But on one instance I will always remember is playing on Brookline High School's lacrosse team against Weymouth junior year. It was the first time I had felt really different from my peers, when a kid on the opposing lacrosse team called me a racial slur. Instantly, my body was taken over by much anger, but to my own surprise, fear as well. The fear that because I was alone, because I was the only black kid, that I had no one to support me. The fear that I had no one to stand by my side. But soon after, before my eyes, I saw my teammates run out to my defense, as one, together, as warriors. And I knew, similar to my journey throughout high school, I wasn't alone. I had people there for me, my brothers. And that's what we all have, each other, friends, family. No matter how different you may seem or alone in the world you may be, we are never alone. So there's no need to have fear when new challenges and opportunities arise, because we are never alone. Together, we made it. Life is full of curveballs and surprises, Grasshopper. But remember, never to tell yourself you can't. Senior year, you will learn one final lesson to take with you on your new journey, stepping out of your comfort zone. As you head to the final stretch of high school, graduation, you will find yourself questioning your qualifications to try new things, to hang with new people, and to step out of your comfort zone. In the winter of senior year, I began to think this is my final chance to truly step out of my comfort zone before my typical spring activities filled with camerata concerts and lacrosse every day, and the battling of finishing my year academically strong would rise upon me. I saw the opportunity to trying out for the winter track team, a team of many different characteristics comparatively to the lacrosse team. New faces, different work ethics, and on the whole, just an entirely different environment. Shockingly to my personality, there was some discomfort with so many unfamiliar new faces. And with so many cliques already predetermined from previous seasons, I was an outcast. However, in this scenario, I enjoyed being the outcast because it had nothing to do with race. I was simply, well, the new kid. After weeks of preseason training, I found that I had built new relationships with students and coaches of all ages. Sadly, before I could ever make a run for that elusive Most Improved Runner award, no pun intended, I tore my knee days before the first meet. I thought to myself, no, this cannot be happening. After all my hard work in the preseason, after going through the grind of cold Saturday morning practices, my season was over, like that. It devastated me that my body gave up on my teammates after I was given a chance at brotherhood from my fellow winter trackies. They had taught me so much in such a short time. My teammates wouldn't let my injury dishearten me. They pushed me to rehabilitate my knee and get back out there. Even though I wasn't actually running, when I went to the meets, I felt I was a part of something bigger than myself. When I saw my fellow warriors cheer each other on, no matter the outcome of each race, it inspired me. It inspired me to see my friends, my classmates, my fellow warriors louder than any other school, despite us being in last place. This was a true fraternity. Being a part of Brookline has taught me many valuable life lessons, like talking to kids you may have never thought you had anything in common with, like never being satisfied with 1 week's worth of success, to always challenge yourself, despite the many adversities you may come across throughout life, to seize as many opportunities life may give you, and finally, Brookline has taught me running to Downsfield from the high school in 9-degree weather or 90-degree weather is a lot easier when you run with friends. Stepping out of your comfort zone is one of the most beautiful opportunities life can give you, young grasshopper. And with it, you will build a bridge worth a lifetime of memories that will never come down. At last, here we are, 2013, June 9th, graduation day. It's been quite the journey for us all, really. We've all transformed from little caterpillars into beautiful monarch butterflies. Stop for a second. Look around you. Look how far we've come. I want everyone to look at the person next to them and introduce yourself. Because that's truly what everyone's journey is about, building friendships and a support system. Look at the people you're surrounded by who have helped you with the will to succeed. Friends, family, teachers, enemies, trimances, girlfriends. Stand up and thank them. Go ahead, stand up. Because as long as we stand together, there's no need to fear the future. In conclusion of this letter, of my reflection of the journey that is Brookline High School, I want to leave you with a quote from Mr. Mark Twain. 20 years from now, you'll be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than by the ones you did do. So throw off the bowlines and sail away from the safe harbor. Congratulations, class of 2013, on the finale of one journey and the dawn of another. Sincerely, your classmate and forever friend, Tyrone Rose Jr. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Next, we'll have a musical selection by Miss Bella Ortiz Wren. The song is West Part 1.
I would like to acknowledge that the lovely Nina Cummins would usually be playing with us, but she's not able to be here today, but if she were, she would be right up here. And this is Jamie Craig on drums and Micah KZ. They're really awesome. Okay, the West Part 1. Let's go out to the countryside, leave everything behind that I wouldn't mind, that I wouldn't mind. Let's go out to the countryside, drive into we're blind, that I wouldn't mind, that I wouldn't mind. To face yourself, no one to blame for the state of your health. Face yourself, to face yourself, no one to blame for the state of your health. Face yourself, to face yourself, no one to blame for the state of your health. Face yourself, to face yourself, no one to blame for the state of your health. Face yourself, to face yourself, no one to blame for the state of your health. Face yourself, to face yourself, oh. Let's go out to the countryside, leave everything behind. Drive into a blind, leave everything behind. That I wouldn't mind, that I wouldn't mind, that I wouldn't mind.
Let's go out to the countryside, leave everything behind. Drive until we're blind, leave everything behind. That I wouldn't mind, 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 that I wouldn't mind.
Thank you. Every graduation needs a little bit of dancing, huh? All right. So now we'll have the presentation of the class gift. We have Ms. Shira Hartman and Eden Pasetsky.
Ready? Okay. Hi, I'm Shira.
Hi, I'm Eden. The Class of 2013 gift is a contribution to the Gretchen Tucker Underwood Fund,
which assists students with extraordinary expenses outside the domain of normal support systems.
The amount of the gift is to be determined. You would like to present this gift to Deb Holman.
Go ahead.
Thank you for the class gift. That is a generous and terrific target for it. So thank you, class of 2013. Right now, it is an honor and a pleasure to welcome this year's graduation speaker to Brookline High School. Welcome, Valerie Kaur. Ms. Kaur is a filmmaker, civil rights activist, and storyteller. Because she's a storyteller, she fits right in at Brookline High School. One of Brookline High's many strengths is that it thrives on the stories of its community members. In fact, at various times of the year, students, faculty, headmaster, and others tell our stories to one another. Through storytelling, we connect, and Ms. Kaur does this expertly. In the fall of 2012, teachers Abby Erdman, Chrissy Jankowski, and Lynn Cohen sponsored a showing at BHS of Ms. Kaur's film, Divided We Fall, about post-9/11 America. Ms. Kaur was able to join the BHS crowd that evening. Through her storytelling and personal narrative, BHS students were impressed, engaged, and enthralled. Some of them came to me the next week and requested we invite Ms. Kaur to be our graduation speaker because, quote, she was so inspiring to us. Valerie Kaur, I think this is a match made in heaven. Your advocacy, your faith in social change and social justice, and your leadership around civil rights, spirituality, race, ethnicity, and women's issues are set to inspire us and make us think. Thank you for being here with us today. Brookline High, please welcome Valerie Kaur.
Good afternoon. Principal Holman, teachers and staff of Brookline High School, and most of all, the graduating class of 2013, I am deeply honored to share this splendid summer day with you. Graduations are a time of celebration and gratitude, so I think Tyrone is right. I think you all should stand up and face the sea of friends and family around you. And hear them cheering you on. Your parents, your grandparents, your aunts and uncles, your cousins, your brothers and sisters, your friends, fellow students, they have all made it possible for you to cross the finish line, for you to be here today. I know it feels good to stand up in the sun. Come on. All right, great. You ought to bask in the feeling of them all cheering you on at one time. Let me tell you, it's something you're going to want to remember for the rest of your life. Thank them with all your heart today. On a summer day very much like this, not so long ago, I was sitting in your place, the future hanging over me like an enormous question mark. I remember the words of the poet Mary Oliver. What is it that you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? I was with Nellie. Who knows, I thought, who knows? And so if that's what's happening in your mind right now, you're on the right track. But I'm here to tell you that I answered the question by living into the answer. And this is the story I want to share with you today. I grew up in a small town in Clovis, in California, on farmland that my grandfather had farmed when he sailed by steamship from India to America and settled in the Central Valley in 1913, 100 years ago. So even though my family had been living in the same piece of land for almost 100 years, I still felt like an alien at school. There were days when I wasn't American enough, when I wasn't smart enough or pretty enough or blonde enough. And on the day that I came home crying when my best friend, who was Christian, told me that I would burn in hell when she found out that I belonged to a different faith, I called it quits. I marched into the room and I told my parents that I was quitting high school. I was in 9th grade. My parents sort of shrugged and looked to my grandfather, and my grandfather was the one who sat me down. Very tall, regal man, clad in a turban and beard, and he told me a story. He said, during World War II, I was called to the front line to fight. And my British commanding officer told me that I had to remove my turban to fight in the front line. I refused, he said. He always pointed. He said, I refused. My turban represented my faith. And our sick faith tells us never to hide. I can feel him sending some wind to us right now. Our religion teaches us never to hide, to serve others, and never to crawl away from the call to serve others. And so his commanding officer told him, well, fine, go on, fight to the front line, but if you die, don't blame me. So my grandfather went to fight. And the German aircraft came swooping down, raining down a sheet of bullets, and it was his best friend sitting next to him who was shot. And my grandfather took off his turban and wrapped his friend's body in the cloth, binding his wounds. Valerie, he told me, it's the very thing that makes you different that becomes your strength, that becomes your power. So when I was sitting where you were sitting, all I knew about my life is that I somehow wanted to be as brave as my grandfather. I didn't know what that meant until September 11th, 2001. I was about your age. I was glued to the television set, watching the towers fall, overwhelmed with grief, and then the flash of the image of Osama bin Laden with a turban and beard. And in that moment, I knew our nation's new enemy looked like my grandfather. In the next hours, hate crimes broke out on city streets across America. Muslim, Sikh, Arab Americans chased, beaten, gunned down, and 4 days later, a turbaned Sikh man was shot in cold blood 4 times in the back in Arizona. He was someone I called an uncle. Balbir Singh Sodhi had come to America to escape religious persecution. He was known for handing out candy at his convenience store. He was killed for the way he looked, and in that moment, I did something very brave. I ran to my bedroom, I locked the door, and I hid for 3 days. I was so scared. I did not want to face the world outside. I was scared of the terrorists, and I was scared of fellow Americans who saw people who looked like me as terrorists. It was so confusing. I looked to my bookshelf, and there were all of these books of wisdom. There was the Bible, and the Torah, and the Quran, and the Guru Granth Sahib. And do you know what book I pulled down to give me solace? Which sacred book did I find? The text of our generation. Harry Potter. Harry Potter. I escaped into the world of Harry versus Voldemort, where the bad guys were conveniently labeled Death Eaters and Dementors, where the young people wielded wands and acted bravely when the adults couldn't. I stopped reading and I looked at the film camera on my bed. What would it mean to act bravely when the adults couldn't? I imagine taking my camera and starting to record these stories of hate around the country, thinking at least people would begin to know what was happening. As soon as I had that thought, I was overcome with a wave of fear. I had a high school diploma to my name. I was young. I had no film experience. I was a woman of color. Who was I to take on such a thing? Who was I to become the hero of this story? And my grandfather's voice came back to me. It's the things that make you different that give you the power to respond. You just have to believe in yourself. I grabbed my camera and a list of questions. I got in my car and I crossed the country in the months after September 11th, capturing hundreds of stories that weren't making the evening news, stories of racism and brutality, of hate and healing that became Divided We Fall, the film that many of you saw. And as I began to travel the country to show the film at schools like Brookline, something amazing started to happen. Students like you began to stand up. A gay student in the back stood up and said, "I've been bullied too." A Jewish student in the front stood up and said, "My ancestors also died for their faith." An evangelical student said, "People judge me before they know me." An African American student in the front stood up, pointed to his braids, and said, "My braids are my turban." I realized that I wasn't alone, that maybe all of us have been aliens at some point in our lives, that it's the things that make us different or weird in high school that become our greatest stories when we leave, that become our greatest resources to rise to the challenge to act when no one else will. I traveled the country and fell in love with my film partner and married him. He's sitting right there for the last 10 years. For the last 10 years, we've been making films and running campaigns for storytelling, using storytelling for social change. We now are championing an organization called Groundswell at Auburn Seminary, where nearly 100,000 people are mobilized in these social justice campaigns. Class of 2013. You do not have to be superhuman or super strong or super smart in order to become the heroes of your own stories. I have learned that courage is not born from sheer strength, that courage is possible when we make ourselves vulnerable, when we speak even when our voice trembles. You know this already. When your teammates rushed into that field, Tyrone, to stand by your side, it wasn't because they thought they were perfect or good or strong or smart. It was because they dared to take risks when no one else would, and that changed everything. Acts like that have the power to change the world. The world is overwhelming. There are so many causes that can call you. Which one do you choose? All you need to do, this is a secret, all you need to do is keep alive the desire to do good. Keep alive that desire. And when the time comes and calls, you'll have a choice to hide away or to face the challenge, to run into the field. You just have to decide you want to be brave. This task is not easy. The world is brutal, whether it's a gunfire in a Newtown classroom or a bomb that goes off at the finish line of a marathon in your own city. You know, you have experienced, you've seen this brutality firsthand, and there will be people who will tell you that change is not really possible. It's too hard. It's too tough. And sometimes I'm even tempted to believe them. Last August, a white supremacist walked into a Sikh gurdwara, a Sikh house of worship, and opened fire, killing 6 people. People looked like my grandfather, my aunts and uncles dying. Pools of blood on the floor. I was there. And I remember thinking, my God, nothing has changed. 12 years of fighting, and nothing has changed. The government still doesn't even track these kinds of crimes. The first place I visited after the tragedy in Oak Creek, Wisconsin, was Brookline High School. And it was you who I met and talked to. And it was you who gave me love and support and told me your stories. And it was Sam Reed who said, I believe that young people have a special role in creating justice in this world. It was Sam Reed who showed me that I was not alone, that actually something had changed, that a new generation is rising. You are that generation. We are that generation, that millennials like you and me are using their tools, their talents, their voices to transform the world around us when our institutions fail us. That we are finding bold new ways to do this, that we're throwing away the script, making it up as we go, finding ways to be courageous. 10 months after the massacre in Oak Creek, thousands of young people like you used Facebook and Twitter, sent letters, wrote petitions, and I'm proud to say that 4 days ago, the FBI will now track hate crimes against Sikhs and other at-risk communities to prevent such crimes in the future. For the first time in history, we did this together. A small stab toward change. The arc of the moral universe is long, says the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, but it bends toward justice. And it's possible for us to put our hands on that arc, to bend it together toward justice. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate, says Marianne Williamson. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. Class of 2013, do not be afraid of your own power. Whatever you do after this, your graduation day, whether it's going off to college or heading into the working world or traveling around the country, whatever it is that you do, remember this. If you treat your life as a great journey, filled with splendors and hardships and opportunities to be bold and brave, then you will have answered Mary Oliver's question. What is it that you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? Live it with your whole heart. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Valerie. That was wonderful. Members of the class of 2013, do you want your diplomas? Yeah! All right, great. I thought you did. I will say this to you one last time. Thank you for being an awesome senior class. As new headmaster, you welcomed me, you guys gave me advice, you argued and disagreed with me and made sure that I became an official Brookline High red and blue warrior. I thank you all for that. No more Newton North. So I leave you with one challenge. I took a risk this year by becoming your headmaster at Brookline High School. So far, I have survived, made some mistakes, learned a lot, and have had a blast. I want you to take risks in this increasingly complicated, wonderful global world that you are entering. In fact, to be your best self in our complex global society, you have to take risks. In his New York Times op-ed column back in January, I've mentioned this to you before, writer Frank Bruni said that life beyond high school is a passport to the far side of what you already know. It's a chance to be challenged, not coddled, to be provoked, not pacified. So it doesn't matter what you are doing next year, a gap year, the military, work, college, community college, technical school, or continuing your education in another manner. How will you be provoked? How will you be challenged and not coddled? What is your passport to the far side of what you already know? Get out of your comfort zone, like Tyrone says, and by definition, you will grow. You are about to embark on a new journey of personal freedom and responsibility, and risks and adventures. So don't be timid in what you do, like Valerie has said to you. Your risks will pay off. You owe it to yourselves and you owe it to us to get out there and get engaged in our global world. And through your hard work over time, you will succeed. We in Brookline have invested lots in you. We have faith in you. Now it's your turn to go and make your contributions to our community, to our nation, and to our world. I am proud of you. The faculty and staff of Brookline High are proud of you. Dr. Lapini, they are ready. I present to you, for presentation of diplomas, the Brookline High School class of 2013.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Ms. Holman. Thank you, Dr. Mims, for this wonderful day. Dr. Mims mentioned to me before we started today that he is now, I believe it's 3 for 3 in delivering beautiful days for graduation. Something to live up to there, Mr. Meyer. So thank you, and thanks to our speakers and for the wonderful musical performances. This is an amazing event. It's always an amazing event that always moves and motivates me. Last week, I sat at a graduation for my daughter, and I was struck by 3 things in particular during that graduation, I think many of which you're feeling today. The first was how quickly time had flown by. It seemed like just days before that I'd been walking her to preschool, enrolling her in elementary school, taking her for that first day to the high school. And here we were sitting at graduation and talking about college and future and challenges before her and her classmates. Second was how proud I was at that particular moment. And I know that all these people, they've had a number of chances to express that today, how proud they are of all of you. And we are so proud, both the people who've worked with you here at the high school and your elementary teachers, if you happen to attend elementary school here, and those of us who work in other positions in the district. This is why we went into this business for days like today, to stand with you as you receive your diplomas. And third, my thought was that however wonderful the program had been up to this point, when are we going to present the diplomas? And the answer is right now. Ms. Holman, it's my pleasure to accept the class of 2013 for graduation from Brookline High School. Congratulations to all of you.
Elena Lapidus. Biana Abamelik. Caleb Abner. Eva Ackerman. Ramses Akamafula. Mehrose Akhtar. Nicole Albertini. Leland Alexander. Catherine Allen. Maya Almagor. Eric Alspa. Emma Anna Shansley. Isabel Ashba. Annette Isacek. John Bay. Claire Banyani. Cheng Si Bai. Danielle Balanoff. Jacob Bamberger. Amanda Barros. Francesca Bass. Denba Batardine. Uma Bates. Mercedes Batista. Jordan Bayer. Jonathan Bekele. Allison Bell. Sagiv Ben-Ari. Noah Benjamin. Ilya Bernstein. Lake Berry. Anna Bisicalo. Casey Bivens. Justin Blotcher. Jacob Bogdanov. Sophie Bourne. Chloe Bowden. Cheyenne Boyd. Juliette Boyer. Allie Braley. Erica Brayman. Connor Brennan. Megan Bridge. Aiden Brown. Alec Brown. Matthew Brown. Gabrielle Bueno. Samuel Burrington. Sofia Cabanas. Ann Cabot. Garrett Callahan. Cristel Calupe Chavez. Tyler Campbell. Mateo Caracholo King. Kaylee Carrington. Dylan Carroll. Cody Casey. Sage Casey. The diploma being presented by BHS Co-Advisor, Senior Class Steering Committee, Spanish Language Teacher, Astrid Allen, to her cousin, Daniel Queso. Tomás Castelli Perez. Elena Chavez Núñez. Celine Chin. Ian Chin. Caitlin Chin. Nicole Chin. Enyo Chinka. Eugene Cho. Kevin Choi. Jessica Clark. Samantha Clark. Rochelle Clouden. Jake Cohen. Jonathan Cohen. Tyler Cole. Ari Coopersmith. Ezra Coopersmith. John Corcoran. Scott Cordner. James Craig. Julian Cranberg. Matt Crémieux. Ian Crowley. Aaron Curry. Kate Cutlip. Audrey Dalgarno. Natalie Dalcel. Jacob Dana. Nathaniel Davenport. Denzel David. Elena David. Neethi David. Eli Davis. Bianca Dempsey. John Diaz Cerullo. Harrison DeLillo. Dimitar Dimitrov. Natalia Dinsmore. Sarah Discant. Pima Doma. Benjamin Dowdy. Jonathan Eber. Hannah Edwards. Benjamin Eggleston. Jacob Erikstad. Edward Esquivel. Shilav Estime. Natasha Fajarda. Jesse Feinsilber. Amanda Farman. Rebecca Fadelson. Iona Feldman. Sarah Feldman. Chloe Fishman. Daniel Fleischman. Sarah Fleming. Benjamin Fletcher. Zev Fogelman. Catherine Foley. Rivière Fougie. Sydney Frederick. Sienna Freed. Kira Gaybridge. Molly Gallagher. August Gammy. David Ganji. Yi Wei Gao. Yarden Garanzik. Torin Geller. Harrison Jenis. Vlada Georgieva. Daniel Gibbons. Vasilisa Gladisheva. Raquel Glassner. Juliana Goldring. John Gonella. Paul Gonella. Marshall Green. Corey Grill. Julia Grimes. Laura Gumpert. Shanshan Guo. Thomasa Hagney. Avital Hamilton. Thomas Harrington. Daniel Harris. Shira Hartman. Jacob Helfgott. Caitlin Hickey. Kervin Hilaire. With diploma being presented by BHS math teacher and parent Kathy Hitchcock to Katie Hitchcock Smith. Ingeborg Skuv Huya. Benjamin Hoff. Roy Hopkins. Adam Renovich. Renowitz. Robin Hu. Tim Huang. Leora Hubner. Chaewan Huang. Yuval Nellie Inbar. Josiane Ishimwe. Michael Jabor. Grace Jacobson. Philip Jacobson. Stephanie Jaime Lopez. Natalie Janes. Samantha Jane Johnson. Annika Jonas Day. Marielle Joseph. Kentaro Kaneki. Sarah Kang. Samuel Kaplan. Theodore Caretta. Nishi Karim. Joy Kelly. Samuel Kelman Wanser. Najet Kares. Alina Kabetuyeva. Saida Khan. Huna Kim. Paul Kim. Yijin Kim. Daniela Kirsanov. Pataraporn Kitisap Kajon. Susan Clow. Aaron Klein. Cooper Klein. Colby Coe. Vienna Koech. Marie Kolarek. Jonathan Kongrunkit. Daniel Crane. Rebecca Crane. Jeremy Kraus. Noah Krawitz.
Hello. How are we feeling? Woo! Go ahead. No, not yet. Ready? Okay, let's begin. Oscar Lugo. Miles LaFrance. Jeremiah Lang. Joel Lamorde. Jamie Lamoureux. Isabella Langan. Jake Lansbury. Jeffrey Lau. Johnny Lau. Ophir Leventhal. Aaron David Lee. Hemin Lee. Junyup Lee. Sabrina Sauhyun Lee. William Bryson Lepre. Lisa Leung. Sophie Lev. Elizabeth Levy. Joshua Levin. Aaron Levine. Natanya Levine. Janice Lee. Alexander Liebman Pelay. Alexander Lindstrom Votrin. Ilson Alberto Lopes Carvalho. Stephanie Lopez. Kelly Lozano Talamantes. Jessica C. Liu. Ella McVeigh. Vikram Mahadevan. James Mahone. Kelvin Mack. Alexander Macriorgos. Andres Marin Olaveria. Edwin Marroquin. Karina Tyler Martins. Brandon Martone. Daniel Matayev. Amanda Matthew. Lucas Matheson. Ethan Mazer. Hugh McLaughlin. Kepler Samuel Mears. Sayasin May. Bria Danielle Mendez Rainey. Egan Meng. Jacqueline Merrill. Stefan Masarovich. Claire Myrovitz. Brandon Anthony Miles. Clarissa Lisa Miller. Jacob Miller. Jacob Milne. Lena Minnenberg. Ayana Miskel. Roshan Moased. Andy Montero. Tyreek Mosley. Isaac Moss. Shiraz Montaz. Zoe Mussman. Marissa Nigerian. Matthew Nigerian. Hallie Nelson. Ryan Ness. Payam Nia. Ariana Nisanoff. Harvard Yolstad. Hanako Norton. Ian Noyen. John Nurmi. Mariah Nuzzo. Thomas Etkin. Jonathan O. Ashley Olofsson. Victor Oliva. Emily Opak. Bella Ortiz Ren. Joan Esteban Osorno. Zachary Oster. Meredith Suzanne Outerson. Soo-hyung Park. Anna Parkhurst. Sam Patrick. Jacqueline Perlmutter. Lindsay Pearlstein. Avichai Peretz. Eden Pazetsky. Medrano Pierre-Louis. Jaquan Poindexter. Emma Bell Poole. Kenan Poradusu. Bar Purat. Francesco Porzio. Melanie Press. Paul Priodko. Madeline Pronovost. Ian Quillen. Luis Quiñones. Abigail Royce. August Ramos. Regina Raphael. Cyrus Rasulian. Samuel Reed. Kate Susanna Rhodes. London M. Riley Ned. Carlos Rios. Elise Rivera. Pete Roberge. Rebecca Robinson. Karina Roach Cross. Ayana Maria Rocker. Efa Matilda Rodman. Rose Rogers Dreyfus. Lauren Raghavan. Tyrone Rose. Matthew Rosenberg. Christian Rosenfeld Mahoney. Harrison Ross. Philip Ross. Francesca Rory. Anna Russo. Oliver Sablov. Amalia Safer. Michael Salnikov. Sophie Sampearl. Phoebe Sampson. Sagi Sarmadi. Evan Sarmanian. Jesse Saulnier. Christopher Shinkman Bonius. Stefan Schmitz. Adam Schwartz. Karina Scott. Sarah Sebahar. Daniela Shakirzyanova. Eli Shanks. Ethan Sharon. Presented by BHS library teacher and parent Ann Collins to Leah Sherman Collins. Cute. Anna Nady Schneiderman. Joseph Shohet. Jalea Sigu. Joshua Slavin. Adreem Smith. Theodore Smith. Julia Sogland. William Soja. Xiang Song. Christian Suhu. Sarah Sorrenti. Nathan Spielvogel. Gabrielle St. Pierre. Haley Steck. Jessica Stein. Eric Steverman. Christopher Luis Suazo Mata. Kyle Swordstrom. Allison Sweet. Samantha Cito. Brianna Taylor. William Taylor. Garrett Thompson. Metin Toxos Exceli. Mark Torres. Lynn Sao. Presented to Ms. Monica Binasco in memory of Jose Vasquez Binasco. Kenny Vertis. Jared Vidalewski. Lily Campbell Waldron. Zachary Walker Kahn. Catherine Walt. Andrew Wang. Nan Wang. Leah Warren. Grace Watkins. Xiaxing Wei. Benjamin Weinstein. John Weinstein. Michael Weinstein. Ariana Weinstock. Alex Wisehouse. Emma Wellbaum. Taylor Weston. Kayla Weiss. James Ranowski. Tony Wu. Yijin Yang. Grace Yi. Dongbao Yuan. Elizabeth Ulove. Asif Zaur. Bernard Zach. Joe Jang. Yoonju Jo.
All the high schools passing by, there's none that can compare. There's none so fair.
All right. Ms. Holman. You look fabulous with your diplomas. By the power. Please stand. By the power vested in me by the school committee and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, I am proud to confirm that you, the class of 2013, are graduates of Brookline High School. Congratulations.
me.